Don't Tell Cosmos because we snuck out with puppies. And we thought we would enter a little bit of our puppy training into the food show this week. So we're going to call them Puppy Bites, and we're going to let you learn some things as we're cooking, teach you a few things about puppies maybe you didn't know, puppy training. But for right now, we're going to go shopping. We need peaches, and we need cilantro, and we need some zucchini. We're going to make some turkey burgers. We need sweet potatoes, sweet potato salad. So come on, we're going to socialize the puppies. And listen, see, socialization, they're getting the loud sounds of the cars. So we're off to the market, guys. Come and join us. Come on, guys, let's go. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These guys are 8 weeks old. I just ate one today. You can pet them. Say that's what this is all about, puppy training. Them seeing people and getting by everybody and not being afraid. They're English labs.
How many do you feed them?
There's 4 more at home, so we've got 7 in the litter. And there's 4 boys and 3 girls. And here we've got 2 girls and 1 boy.
You know why they're doing it? Because they want to be petted.
Yeah, they want to be petted.
So when they don't get petted,
and see, the thing is, we don't want to pet them when they cry, because if you pet a puppy when it cries, that means it can cry all the time and want you to pet them. So we have to wait till they're quiet before we pet them.
that's why the parks are that same
Right.
reason.
Right. It's just like when a puppy like this one who jumps up on you. We want to pet them like this one. She's being nice and she's sitting, so we want to pet her. But these guys, we don't want to pet. There we go. See, we want to pet when they're sitting. Good job. Very good job. Very good job. Well, thank you for talking to our puppies. We appreciate it. All right, guys, we gotta get some tomatoes here. Okay guys, we have got our zucchini and we got some tomatoes. We weren't able to get our cilantro. We didn't find any blueberries, but we'll be able to pick some of those up. So come on back to the kitchen and we'll take the puppies. And don't forget, we're gonna do some Empower Puppy Bites today. Some puppy tips, so this way you can learn more about the puppy training. Let's go. Come on guys. Welcome back to the kitchen. Cuz wasn't too happy when I came back. He was jumping on the door, letting me know he wasn't happy that I took the puppies instead of taking him. But we survived all the well-wishers of socialization that we brought them down for, which is really, really crucial with any puppy and really with any dog. And we talked about that a little bit last week. So we want to make sure that we make sure that we always get our dogs out. Wherever you can take them. Because it's always a new experience. So we are on to cooking now. Are you ready to cook today? I know you always like to give me a high five when we start. How about the other paw? And see, we're training too, right? We're training to cook. And as I said down at the market, what we're gonna do is we're gonna interject some puppy training tips during this. We thought, we're doing all this with the cooking for the big guys because the little guys can have some of this stuff. We just have to be kind of careful with some of the things that we do give them with their system still learning and still developing. So we are able to give them some cancer fighting things, obviously a little bit later than just 8 weeks like these guys are right now. But we can start incorporating some of that, and we will be, and we already have. So we just want to make sure that we kind of hit both ends. We thought we'll do a little training, we'll do a little cooking, Kaz will do a little bit eating, right? All right, he takes his hat off and let's get started. Okay. We are making turkey burgers with a sweet potato salad that you're absolutely gonna love. And a little bit of a kind of a curry. I've got a million ingredients today. I kind of was like, we're gonna put this in, we're gonna put that in, and right? And of course we always have to cook by color, so, right? High five, cook by color. Very good boy, thank you. How about if you show me your lane? You can lay down now, okay? All right, we gotta get cooking. I already have the sweet potatoes going. I got the water. We are going to steam them. So we're gonna get those going up. I cut them in cubes, so you kind of want them, I cut them a little bit bigger than I would say a bite size, because they are gonna steam down and they are gonna get softer, and especially as you toss it in a salad. So we don't want this like pile of mush kind of going on. But like we said before, once again, we want to steam our vegetables so they have the most nutrients for our puppies. Over 600 plus carotenoids in sweet potatoes that are fighting cancer. Awesome, awesome, awesome for them. It's why you actually see it in a lot of dog foods, because it is a good nutrient. The problem is, in the dog foods that we buy, the nutrients aren't as strong as what they can actually be if we can cook them for our dogs. So next we're going to start on our turkey burgers. And turkeys is kind of a funky meat from the standpoint when you're doing it ground, because there's not a lot of moisture into it. One thing that kind of really caught my eye when I went to go pick this up at the store yesterday is they had 2 packages, both organic, and they had one that said, I think it was 80 or 93.7 or something like that, the turkey. But yet when I looked on the back of the fat content was actually more than this that's not even marked. Fat content on this is only 2 grams. And I think the protein was, I don't know my glasses, but I think it was like 27 or something. So it was crazy, the amount of that. So it's a 16 ounce package, which basically would get us 4-ounce burgers. But I think by the time we were gonna add some zucchini and feta cheese, we're gonna pump that up a little bit and maybe see if we can get 5 burgers out of it. And then this way we can take our calorie content down because we've added the other items. So first thing we're gonna do is, well, actually might as well just open up our turkey. Kind of get that going in. And make sure, once again, when you're using chicken, turkey, you really go ahead and make sure you always wash your hands if you've touched it, because you don't want any type of cross-contamination whatsoever. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to take our zucchini and we are going to grate it up. And the reason I chose zucchini to be able to do, let's see, what do we want? Let's try the size, see how that does. Yeah, that works good. The reason I chose zucchini was a couple of things. Number one is it's 95% water. So that actually really helps with, hydrating. So, if you do have a dog that maybe they aren't feeling well and you do need to get some water and so forth in them, maybe grate up some zucchini and give them some zucchini, because that will immediately, same thing like watermelon, like we talked last week as far as the hydrating, from that standpoint. So this will help be able to keep the moisture into that turkey burger of ours, because like I said, sometimes they have a tendency to get really, really dry, especially when you're cooking it where, you're cooking it on the grill or something. But for us, like we talked about with the chicken, we want to make sure, which reminds me, preheat your oven, dear. We want to make sure that we are going to be doing this when we have got the most nutrients involved in it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pan sear it in our electric skillet. Just kind of sear both sides of it quickly. And then I'm going to pop it in the oven, but I'm not going to pop it in the oven at 300. I'm going to cook it at a lower temperature. And I'm going to go through all this to cook for the dog for being healthy and for us for being healthy. I want to make sure that I want to get as much nutrients out of that as possible. So popping it up to 350, so I give myself an extra 10 minutes or something like that it takes to get from, as opposed to cooking it from 350 to 300. So we're going to kind of do that. Another thing I wanted to tell you about tryptophan, I always laugh about it, especially at Thanksgiving when people say, oh, I'm so tired, we had turkey. They would have to eat like probably 10 turkeys in order for that to really happen. What's funny is the tryptophan actually has an effect on the serotonin levels in our body, and it actually makes you more alert. So I kind of laugh when everybody's, I think they're just all kind of, everybody's just so full, I guess you want to say. And everybody's holding their stomach saying, oh, the turkey made me so tired, when it really doesn't. So anyway, so I want to go with, let's go about that much. It looks like maybe it's probably about a cup and a half, cup and a quarter with the water in it. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to take that and we are going to let's put this down here so we can get that out of the way. Don't eat my zucchini down the bed, okay? We're just going to kind of dump all this stuff in here. Get that in here, just like this. The bad thing about this stuff is you don't really want to mix it a lot, because the more you mix it, the more it ends up where it just kind of gets drier. And I hate having to use my hands, but I have to use my hands. Everybody says wear gloves, but gloves don't work. Feta cheese. Feta cheese is wonderful for the dogs. And on our website, again, we've got all the things that are listed. Once again, as far as being sheep's cheese, the calcium in this, what it does is the way I guess the protein attaches itself to the calcium icons are actually antibacterial and anti-tumor. fighting. So that is kind of like awesome with feta cheese. Feta cheese is probably one of the best cheeses that you can give your dog. So I think there's probably about a cup in here. So we're just gonna kind of put all that in there as well. As you know, we have to have cheese for Cosmos, right? And next week, we're gonna be doing, Cosmos has his, 18-month birthday on the 18th of July. So that's what we talked about as far as really when the growth plates are closed. And since I don't like to have birthday parties for the dogs, we're gonna have a growth plate closing party. So we're gonna make Cosmos a cake next week. Because everybody keeps saying, when are you gonna make something sweet? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix all this up and go watch a puppy bite. We're gonna come back, we're gonna sear our burgers and put them in the oven, and we'll be right back.
Good boy. Good boy. Very good job. Very good job.
Getting a puppy's focus is very simple. Just walk back and forth, change directions. When they come by you, reward them and tell them what a great job they did, right? Oh my goodness. And that's just another empowered puppy bite. Okay guys, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lightly spray up our pan. Because like I said, what we're doing is searing each side kind of. So I've made 5 burger patties. And you see how well actually the zucchini and the feta hold them together. I'm gonna dent the center just a little bit. You kind of want to make sure, because what happens is the edges usually get cooked faster than our center. So this way, if we put just a little bit of a dent in there in the middle, it helps that a little bit better. All right, and we did get 5. So by adding that extra, you actually kind of get an extra meal. And like you want an extra meal, Cosmos, right? Cosmos is so picky. We found out this week that I think he's allergic to plastic because under his beard, he was getting like all brown, like his saliva and so forth. And then his nose was getting a little kind of crusty. So I had gotten him a new bowl because he had a stainless steel bowl and he knocked it over and it scared him. So he didn't want to eat out of it. So he was being funky or whatever it was. And I said, all right, well, I'm just going to get him a plastic bowl. And then I think he's allergic to it. So now he's got to go back to eating off of a plate, which I'm sure he doesn't do. He's used to eating off the plates in here, right? So meanwhile, our potatoes are going. They're doing well. I love this thing. You can use your elbow. We've got them, so they're searing on one side. We're going to let them go for about a minute, and then we're going to flip them, and we're going to transfer them over to our pan, pop them in the oven, and we're going to let them go till they reach 165. So cooking them, like I said, it may be, I don't know, roughly 15, 20 minutes. But in the meantime, while we let that go, finish up on our sweet potatoes, you go watch some more puppy bites.
One of the best ways to keep up with your puppy's nails is to start young. Work with their paws, get them used to you touching their feet, and use human nail clippers. So just get the tips of the nails when they're small like this, and that keeps the quick back, and you don't have as much issue with them as they get older. And that's just another empowered puppy bite.
Okay guys, we are getting ready now to check on our turkey burgers. They should be just about done. While you were gone, what I did was I actually had sauteed up some sweet peppers with some peaches, because we're going to puree that, and that's going to be kind of our ketchup and mustard for our burger, so to speak. We're going to kind of use that sauce because we went with the same kind of ingredients that are going to be in our sweet potato salad. So we want to kind of keep our flavors kind of rolling. So right now we're going to check on our turkey burgers, and we'll let you see how good they came out. Once again, with that, what we did use was we used parchment paper. Because as we talked about last week, parchment paper helps keep things moist, so you can see the juices of the burgers going through here. But we're just going to double check and make sure that we are at 165, and we should be good. 3, 4, 5. We're actually at 167 on that one, so we're going to take these out. We're going to put them up on top here, and we're going to let them rest. So you always want to make sure you let all your meats rest, so this way the juices flow, and so they stay moister. So we're good on that. All right, and make sure you wash your thermometer too. Okay, nonetheless, time to get our sweet potato salad going. So as you saw, this was about 2 big sweet potatoes. So we ended up steaming them, cooling them. Like I said, we had cut them into bigger cubes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of add an entourage of flavors here. We're gonna add some peaches. We've got some fresh tomatoes, as you saw down at the farmer's market. But what we did was we sauteed them up because we want to, once again, we want to get that lycopene releasing in there, and cooked tomatoes are best. So this was maybe 3 or 4 of those little ones there. So we're just going to kind of pop that in. And let's see what else. We have sweet peppers, and once again, you know how I like to have all the colors of everything. So we had red. We had a bag like this. These things are wonderful. They're just like mini bell peppers, but they have a sweet, tangy flavor to them. So they're really, really good. So we got those all diced up. So we're gonna pop those in there. Probably looks like maybe about a cup. We're going to add some celery, which celery is another good cancer fighter. One site said it was the best cancer fighter, so I'm not really quite sure. Once again, like we said, we talked about the internet and all that, so we have probably maybe about a cup here, so we're going to add that in there as well. But look at how we're building this salad. Next, we're going to put in our black beans. And what our black beans are good for is it helps regulate the blood sugar, and it also helps repair DNA damage in our cells. So this is really good for the dogs as well. What I did was, because I don't want to give them canned beans, we went and we just got dry beans, let them soak overnight. Very simple, just put them in a bowl, let them sit there for 6 to 8 hours, whichever, before you go to bed. When you wake up, just boil them, and that's all you have to do, and then they're perfect, and they have all the nutrient content. So let's add, maybe let's say about a cup of these. Maybe a little more than just a cup. All right, next we are going to add is our peaches. And our peaches are, once again, as we talked about last week, for people and also for dogs, or people for the breast cancer. I have a hair in my eyes here. And then the dogs with the mammary cancer. For it also is something that helps with dogs with intestinal worms. So I thought that was pretty good. You can give your dog some peaches to be able to help that. And once again, also building their immune system. So that's another good thing. So we're gonna add in about a cup of those. Let's see how we're building. Oh, might as well just add it all. Might as well just add it all, right? Okay, last but not least, so let's see, we've got our tomatoes, we've got our everything, we've got all that going, is our cilantro. Now, cilantro is basically, they say, it's kind of weird because it's actually a big plant. At the bottom is coriander. The seed of the plant of cilantro is coriander, which has a whole together different taste. It's kind of a nutty taste. And that is used a lot in Indian foods. And cilantro, which is the leaf of the plant, is used a lot in Mexican foods. So it's kind of called, sometimes you'll even see it called Chinese parsley. Once again, tons of different kinds of cancer fighting things, which everything is all listed. I have all I can do to remember the recipes, let alone, well, the recipes I know by heart, but let alone all the information that we find, because it's so overwhelming. It's like every time I turn around, there's another, oh, this does this and that does that. And I'm just like, once again, going back, whole foods, keep it variety. I mean, nothing processed. I mean, this is, like I said, awesome for them. And so good for us as well. And what is so cool then to just be able to sit down and have a meal with your dog. I mean, to me that's just cool, super cool. So we're gonna add some of this cilantro in. Now, cilantro is something you either like or you don't like. And it's funny because they said people that don't like cilantro, it actually tastes like soap to them. And it's something genetically in your genes that causes you to have that type of reaction. So I thought that was kind of cool too. So we're just gonna add kind of like that much. And you'll know too, because a lot of dogs, which I should have tested, I should have saved some out for Cosmos in case he doesn't like cilantro, because of their olfactory skills, they will actually smell, that cilantro will smell like metal. So maybe you want to kind of test that before you end up giving it to your dog that way. But we're just going to kind of toss all this together, just like this. And all of our flavors are going to go through. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil because I'm not making any really kind of a dressing for this. What we are going to do is squeeze a little bit of orange on the dogs, lime on ours when we plate it. And the reason is dogs can have lime, but what the lime does for the salad for us is it kind of brings everything all together. The orange is going to kind of just add a little bit of sweetness flavor for the dogs. Even though we have the peaches, we're going to put a little acidity into it to kind of bring it all together for them. But look how wonderful that looks. I mean, isn't that a beautiful salad? All right, so we're going to let this kind of marry itself all together here. and kind of all the flavors get all together. I'm gonna set this aside for right now. What else I made for us is that I'm going to puree for is a peach and sweet pepper. I used the yellow sweet peppers compote. Now, I wanted to kind of use the same color as the peach because I could have used the red or the orange, but then it would have changed the color of that. And what we're going to do is we're simply just going to place this inside our little mini food processor here. And we're going to pulse this up, and we're going to use this as our dressing for our burgers. So while you guys go watch another puppy bite, I'm going to get this all pulsed up and get our plates all ready, and then we're going to give Cosmos some food.
Always acknowledge your puppy. If your puppy's laying or sitting, go up to the puppy and let them know that they did a good job. Give them that proper praise, because all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, they didn't ask me, and they got the attention that they looked for and deserved. And that's just another empowered puppy bite, right?
Put that on his plate. Nah, he's all right. He'll eat it. Right, Cosmos? What do you think? What do you think, buddy? What do you think of the cilantro? Oh, guess what? Cosmos likes cilantro. So we're good. We can use his garnish. You should always too remember that anytime you put a garnish on a plate, make sure it's edible. Right? Always should be edible. Cosmos, look at what we have. Look at your meal today. What do you think? Okay, let me cut your turkey burger up, okay? Let me cut it up for you. So this way, yeah. All right, are you ready? Let's see here, let's move your hat. There you go, babe. What do you think? I think turkey burgers with feta cheese and blueberries and a sweet potato salad is a hit. All right, guys. As we said, next week is Cosmos. On the 18th, actually, is Cosmos's 18-month birthday. His growth plates are finally almost closed. Well, they probably are all closed because it takes that long. So we're going to celebrate that instead of him being older. So we're going to come up with, we have to figure out what kind of a cake he's going to like. Since he doesn't like fruit very well, I think I got to come up with something that, I don't know, maybe a carrot cake, but that's kind of just ordinary. So we need to do something good for Cosmos. And we'll be making that and having a little bit of a party. Maybe we can set it up where the puppies can come to the party. But join us next week. This week's recipe will be on empoweredpups.com of our turkey burgers with our sweet potato salad. Have a great week, guys. See you next week.